Welcome back to the channel, folks. Today we're diving headfirst into the madhouse that is Donald Trump's latest meltdown. Grab your popcorn because we're about to witness Trump lose it after his grand plan gets exposed. Oh, it's going to be a wild ride through the absurd, the hilarious, and the downright bizarre. Let's get started. So, Trump claims he knows nothing about Project 2025. Oh, really? You know nothing about a project that your closest cronies are pushing? That's like saying you know nothing about the cheeseburger in your hand while you're taking a bite out of it. It's like he's the world's worst spy caught red-handed and still insisting, what secret documents? It's almost comical how he expects us to believe he's completely out of the loop on a plan that's practically screaming his name. Hilarious, right?
Which is why we need the help of the Heritage Foundation and everyone here tonight to get our tax cuts through the House, through the Senate, and to my desk for signature.
And just when you thought it couldn't get any funnier, Trump also claims to disagree with parts of the project he knows nothing about. That's like disagreeing with a book you've never read because you don't like the cover. Or better yet, it's like hating a movie based solely on the trailer. Seriously, does he think we're buying this nonsense? It's as if he's trying to juggle contradictions and expecting us not to notice when he drops the ball. Speaking of ridiculous, let's talk about Trump's ever-loyal sidekick, the Heritage Foundation. These folks are so deep in Trump's pocket that they probably have lint from his old suits. They're pushing Project 2025 like it's the next big Marvel movie, and Trump's press secretary filming recruitment ads like it's a summer blockbuster. It's like watching the Joker hire minions in Gotham, except less charming and more dangerous. The way they're orchestrating this is nothing short of a political thriller, except the stakes are real and the script is terrifyingly authoritarian. Now, let's talk about Trump's July 4th rant on Truth Social. It was a masterpiece of unhinged rambling. He's bashing everyone from Biden to Kamala Harris, all while throwing in some nostalgic dog metaphors. I guess when your policies don't make sense, you resort to calling your opponents dogs. Classic Trump. It's almost like watching a roast where the roaster forgot it's supposed to be funny, not just sad. Every insult he throws out is less about political critique and more about desperately clawing for relevance. But the real kicker is when Trump tries to distance himself from Project 2025, calling it a second American Revolution. Oh, so now we're rewriting history? I guess he figures if you can't win the present, just reframe the past. It's like he's running a bad parody of a historical drama. Kevin Roberts of the Heritage Foundation wasn't shy about it either. He talked about a second American Revolution like it was the next season of a reality show. It will remain bloodless if the left allows it to be.
Their minds daily is because our side is winning. And so I come full circle in this response and just want to encourage you with some substance that we are in the process of the second American Revolution, which will remain bloodless if the left allows it to be.
Well, that's reassuring. Nothing says peace like a thinly veiled threat, right? It's almost as if he's pitching the next big reality show, Survivor American Politics Edition. The casual way they discuss such extreme measures is both alarming and surreal. John Oliver brilliantly breaks down Project 2025. He highlights the absurdity of 100 conservative organizations working together like a villainous version of the Avengers. It's a plot so twisted even a comic book writer would need a drink after reading it. Can you imagine the team meetings? Okay guys, today we're discussing how to dismantle democracy. Snacks will be provided. It's like a villain convention where the attendees are oblivious to the irony of their own machinations.
More than 100 conservative organisations have come together to work on this, and they're all there. You've got the Heritage Foundation, Liberty University, the NRA, Turning Point USA, Rodeo Clowns for Trump, the Centre for Ruining Thanksgiving, the marriages between a man and his property, and
The plan itself is a 900-page extremist blueprint that reads like a manual for a dystopian future. We're talking about mass deportations, dismantling the Department of Education, and banning abortion medication. They might as well rename it Project 1984 because Orwell would be proud. This plan is so far out there, it makes The Handmaid's Tale look like a children's bedtime story. The sheer breadth of its ambition to reshape America into a nightmare dystopia is almost too much to comprehend.
Project 2025's 900-page-plus mandate, putting Christianity at the center of American life and government, criminalizing the mailing of abortion medication, the most common form of abortion care, criminalizing sending that through the mail, taking the word abortion out of all laws, policies, and regulations, as well as terms relating to gender and sexual identity, removing protections for the environment, denying climate change, eliminating the Department of Education.
Let's not forget Trump's penchant for rewriting reality. He's out here drawing hurricane maps with Sharpies and expecting everyone to go along with it.
Was that it was going to be hitting Florida directly. Maybe I could just see that, Kevin. It was going to be hitting directly, and that would have affected a lot of other states. But that was the original chart, and you see it was going to hit not only Florida, but Georgia. Could have was going toward the Gulf.
Next, he'll be telling us the Earth is flat because it looks that way on a map. It's like he's living in his own version of reality where facts are just suggestions. His willingness to manipulate basic truths to fit his narrative is both absurd and terrifying. Trump's legal woes are a saga unto themselves. He's a convicted felon trying to run for president. It's like watching a real-life episode of Law & Order Trump Unit. He's been fined $90 million for defamation and owes over $400 million in fines.
$400 million compared to the assets that I have, all of these great properties all over the world, and frankly, the Bank of America building in San Francisco. I don't love what's happening to San Francisco.
Well, do I hear you right? It sounds like you're saying $400 million isn't that much.
One of the biggest office buildings.
But are you confirming that, yes, you do owe some $400 million?
What I'm saying is that it's a tiny percentage of my net worth.
And this guy wants to lead the country again? He's like the Energizer Bunny of lawsuits. He just keeps going and going. Every new legal development is another chapter in his ongoing epic of scandal and controversy. Project 2025's agenda is a nightmare. From putting Christianity at the center of American life to criminalizing abortion and environmental protections, it's like they're ticking off a checklist of dystopian fantasies.
You can't have a medication abortion. Reverse its approval of chemical abortion drugs like mifepristone, which is used in the majority of all abortions in this country. And again, in red and blue states where abortion is legal or not. And to be clear, there's no absolutely justification for this, right? Mifepristone has been used safely for decades. This is not a scientific determination. They're going to put some apparatchik into charge of FDA to do this. Project 2025 wants to take it away.
It's almost as if they're trying to see how many rights they can take away before someone says, hey, maybe this isn't a good idea. Their boldness in pushing such radical changes is both astounding and horrifying.
Folks at the Heritage Foundation, the Department of Justice would no longer be independent in a second Trump administration. On page 559, Hamilton writes, while the supervision of litigation is a DOJ responsibility, the department falls under the direct supervision and control of the President of the United States as a component of the executive branch. Thus, and putting aside criminal prosecutions that can warrant different treatment, litigation decisions must be made consistent with the president's agenda.
The DOJ under Trump? Just another tool for his personal vendettas. According to Project 2025, it would be under direct presidential control. Imagine Trump deciding who gets prosecuted. It's like giving a toddler the keys to a tank. And we all know how well that would end. His vision of justice is less about fairness and more about settling scores. And let's talk about the culture war stuff. They want to remove terms related to gender and sexual identity from laws and policies. It's like they're trying to erase people's existence with a legislative eraser. This is what happens when you let people who think the 1950s were the good old days write modern laws. Their attempt to roll back decades of social progress is both regressive and appalling.
Let's talk about same-sex marriage. You said a few years ago that you were evolving on that issue. Where are you?
I'm traditional marriage. It is changing rapidly.
Biden's trying to rally support, but let's be honest, his last debate performance was a disaster. Still, I'd take a stumbling Biden over a power-hungry Trump any day. At least Biden isn't trying to turn the country into his personal dictatorship. It's like choosing between a bumbling uncle and a power-mad supervillain. I'll take the uncle, thank you very much. Biden's flaws are human and relatable, whereas Trump's ambitions are deeply concerning.
Most important, we're going to save our democracy. Now, you probably heard, we had a little debate last week. Can't say it was my best performance. We love it, Joe. But ever since then, there's been a lot of speculation. What's Joe going to do? Is he going to stay in the race? Is he going to drop out? What's he going to do?
In summary, Trump's trying to distance himself from Project 2025, but it's clear he's deeply involved. His cronies are pushing an authoritarian agenda while he pretends to know nothing. It's like watching a bad magician trying to hide an elephant under a handkerchief. You can't make this stuff up. His transparent attempts to dodge responsibility are almost laughable if they weren't so dangerous. So there you have it. Trump is panicking and his grand plan gets exposed. His attempt to distance himself is laughable, and his allies' open calls for a second American Revolution are terrifying. Stay tuned as we continue to follow this political circus. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. What do you think of Trump's latest antics? Let us know in the comments below.